Hi, everyone, and welcome to The B Show. I'm your host, Deborah Voltaire Coulange, and this is the prelude. Am I saying that word right? To really the prelude to summer. Summer. I'm sorry, Carl. It almost like busted his but this is the prelude to a summer recess. So for all of you who have been watching, it is so hot. for all of you who've been watching the B Show on Facebook Live, thank you very much. But your girl needs a little summer recess. So just like the preschool kids and the high school and elementary teachers, like, do you see my face? Like, there's no way I'm gonna let it sweat off because she's beat, honey. Um, and I just need a little, vacay next week. So this is the last show until the middle of July. I'm so sorry. And then I will pick up. So it's not like a series or season finale. It's just like a mid-summer break. Like that's what they say on TV, right? It's like the mid-summer break. That's what I'm doing. Imagine if I'm on this whole time. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Do you guys remember doing this when you were little? Yeah. So I'm just taking a little break so that I can enjoy my cousin's bridal shower that I'll be going to in Boston next week. And then after that is your girl's 36th birthday. So, and then I'll be going to New Orleans. And I think then I'll be back. So I think it's really just 3 weeks or 4. But I would also like to say to all the people who are watching this show now, before, and later, that this is the Sports Hit List show. However, it's called the B Show. And on the B Show, we talk about whatever the beep I want to talk about. And most of the time, if I do choose to talk about basketball, it's because it's something that I care about, or football, or soccer, tennis, or lacrosse. So I just want to say, yes, I am under the Sports Hit List channel, but this is a show that doesn't really talk about sports. Did I do well? I was told I had to say that. So anyway, decided that on this show today, I'm going to have my B crew, Hot Topics crew, and we're going to just talk about a few things for the month of June. Unfortunately, our guy Mike could not make it because, he has other obligations to the job that actually pays him. But I think I found a good substitute that my other 2 friends don't even know about. Okay, so let's welcome in ladies first. We got my girl Marisol. Next, what up, Marisol? Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, let's bring in Mr. Steph. Oh, with the pose. Hello. I feel like your hair got longer from the last time I seen you, which was like yesterday. But did you hear me?
Oh, I can hear you now. I was.
Okay. I said I feel like your hair got longer from the last time I seen you, which was yesterday.
Yesterday, same length as yesterday. I think it's a little bit brighter. I guess it was like later at night. My room wasn't that well lit. My hair was twisted last week, and then I took it out the twist, and here you have it.
I also think I was beyond intoxicated yesterday, so I don't know what was happening.
I couldn't tell that you were.
Okay, yay! Good. So, we are missing our guy Mike, but I figured why not have a substitute, because I hate a 3 screen.
I see. New B crew member?
Really massive, not a new member.
Okay, all right. So like an alternate.
We're not giving up our seat. We're just, someone's going to keep it warm for us.
Okay.
And this is a person who's been like, can I come on your show? Can I come on your show? And I'm like, take a number. I take a number. Stop talking to me. So I figured today, I was like, yo, today's your time. Like,
I'm excited. This is a good build-up.
It's a really good build-up.
Dun 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 dun. Oh!
Yo, Deb, you really dragged that.
You're twins.
That's pretty funny.
What up, bro?
What's going on? I was not expecting that.
I know. I told Carl, I'm like, they don't know who it is, especially Steph. So let's just keep it that way. Because he's like, I have to tell everyone. I was like, tell him Steph.
Yeah. Well, it's wild. We were talking today. I didn't even know he was coming on.
Yeah, I know. And I was like, please don't say anything.
That's pretty good. Welcome to the B crew temporarily.
Yes. Just a seat warmer.
It's not temporarily. I'm taking Mike's spot.
Oh.
Okay. All right. I'm sure Mike's gonna hear this later and not be too happy about it.
Let me get my notes out.
Steph, you know I come here and I cause chaos.
I know that.
We like that. Don't worry.
People talk about it when you're not around, so I hear a lot of it.
You gotta start somewhere, right? It's not fun being normal.
That's outrated. That's overrated. Yeah.
What is normal?
Carl. All right, so let's start with some topics. The first topic, Carl actually brought it to my attention. I was like, what? Today makes 27 years since the O.J. Simpson car.
The car chase.
Car chase, yes. And he was like, do you remember where you were? And I was like, first of all, what's 30? I don't even know how to subtract. I think I was 8, and I was like, no, I don't. I don't recall. I remember coming home and like everyone watching this chase, and I was just like, what's going on? But now as an adult, when I rewatch it, I'm like, yo, this guy was crazy.
He was.
So you guys remember where you were? Steph, don't even. Like,
yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't remember where I was. I think I was also only like 8, 34, right? 27. Yeah. So I was only like around 8.
Gregor, like what, 4?
I remember being at home watching. I watched the chase. I didn't know who OJ was at the time, or why all the adults felt the need to just watch this guy running from the cops, because it wasn't often that every single channel turned away for some random cop chase. No matter what channel you turned it on, it was on. And I didn't understand why. I was like, but this is cool, though. This guy's running from the cops. This is interesting.
And I think his trial was also the first time they allowed media to come in, because he was a high-profile person. And everyone, there were different sides, of course. People believed he did it. He didn't do it. And, because of him, we have that great line, if the glove don't fit,
you must have quit. I mean,
Cochran, boy.
That's really the only thing I remember from the trial. And the Judge Lance Ito, because I kept hearing his name.
Yes, that's all that
Steph is like, I don't remember that.
Bro, like, I was maybe 4, I think. Like, I remember maybe looking at a screen and seeing it happening and maybe people talking about it, but I don't like the details. I know more from movies than and like recanting of it than actually seeing it when it happened. And I guess really the Kardashians, because
I was gonna say, because of anything, they made it even more hype, like with their dad being the lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And then Kris Jenner was the best friend of Nicole. So that kind of started their riff of like their divorce.
And it's a little bit crazy if you think about it, because that even impacted how we study in school, because it's like, what effect does the media have on a trial? So that came up, in school as well. So I, for being around for it, I didn't know the impact that it would have years to come. I had no idea. So it's,
well, I actually Googled that he was just in court and he lost a case about some casino, and now the money has to go to the Goldmans. So I think like anything he makes goes to them.
Wow.
Like that the civil case, not the big one.
What I can say about OJ, he has done himself no favors after the trial.
No.
Agreed.
No.
He wrote a book like, if I did it, this is how I would do it. Like,
that's what you're trying to make him. That's why you're trying to make some money, like quick money.
Yeah.
And you see a PR person's like, yeah, it's a great idea. You should go for it. Just write the book. People are gonna buy it. It's like, don't do that, bro. Why'd you do that?
Or how about the fact that he didn't get arrested for that, but then he got arrested for taking like all his like property back from whoever bought it. Because he like manhandled.
He broke into like some place.
Yeah, and was like, nah, this is mine. And the person's like, I got it on eBay. Like and he was like, I don't care. But then he went to jail for that. Like that was, to me, it was like, was this karma or something?
Yeah. I love the idea that book of like, if I did it, this is how I would, is like the exact trial. Like just everything they thought he did. That's the book. Like, I know.
But I will say something. I won't say the person's name, but him and I were talking about something, and he was just like,
sounds like Carl.
like OJ. And I was like, first of all, why are you bringing up OJ? You are white. Don't ever bring
not
that
Carl.
man up. Like, there's a line, and he's like, "Oh, do you believe he did it?" I'm like, it don't matter what I say, but you cannot say he did it. Like, that's just in the history of minorities. Like, we don't play it with that, bro.
There was a good big racial divide with that. I mean,
that's
like
what I'm
when
saying.
you talk about it, like I wasn't paying attention to that because I was too young to care. My toys and cartoons are more important to me. But I mean, you still feel those ramifications. And again, even the recanting of the trial, you're talking about the split where white people are like, he's guilty, he needs to go to jail, and every black person, not every black person, but majority of the black community saying he's innocent, and the judge says he's innocent, so he's innocent. And we still see that play out with the criminal justice system, where you don't expect OJ's fame. You look at being the beneficiary. He became a beneficiary of his fame rather than the color of his skin having an impact on that trial.
The juice.
The juice, exactly.
All right. Next topic. This is kind of pertain to me, and it kind of like really boiled my skin today. Can a guy and a girl be friends? So I went to hang out with
platonic friendship.
Yeah, I went to hang out with one of my high school friends at his house yesterday, and I told my sister, and she was like, "Did you get permission from Carl?"
Ooh,
and that really like pissed me off. And I was like, "Can you repeat that?" And
did he let you off your leash?
Basically, yeah. Oh, did Carl said it was okay? And I'm like, what? And she's like, "How did you get there?" And I was like, "Is this 21 questions?" I took a lift, and Carl picked me up, and she's like, "He picked you up?" I'm like, "Yes."
Oh my God.
I was not going to pay an additional $30.
That's where you were yesterday?
Yeah. And I was like, I don't understand. So I asked a lot of other married people, and they felt like, why not?
I think there's a caveat there.
Why?
I think Greg's starting, man.
So you said it was a high school friend. Yes. I think if prior to your marriage you guys were friends, I don't think it matters, because at that point your significant other would have already met this person if they are that close to you, right?
Potentially, yes.
But after you're married, right? If you meet, say, a random person of the opposite sex, and then you guys become close, then it gets a little shaky. Because now it's like, you as the significant other, who's this person? How do you know them? Why do you want to go hang out with them? All these type of questions arise. So it could lay some seeds of doubt. I'm not saying it's wrong.
Marisol, it also let loose. I saw you. You were ready.
Well,
it also depends on the relationship. Every relationship is different.
Yes, but also I was friends with this person, because Carl did say, like, when the heck did you guys become friends again? And I was just like, he posted something that I was just like, what? And then it just led to us like, oh my God, I haven't seen you so long. How you doing? You should come over and chill one day. And I was like, yes.
I think that I think that,
give it to me. Go ahead.
No. Listen, it's a little bit funky, because I think that if the relationship is strong, you and Carl, right? I'm just using this as an example. Yeah. The relationship is strong. There's no, like, you don't lay doubt for, like, what is she gonna go over there to do? Like, why? Who is, then really yes, Greg, you have a solid point if you met somebody afterwards. But if the friendship is innocent, there is no reason to place that doubt on the other person. You know what I mean? If you're comfortable in your relationship and you know exactly what's going on, then there is no reason. And at the end of the day, I'm sorry to say, but if you're gonna cheat, you're gonna cheat. It's gonna happen one way or the other. Because let me tell you, if there's something that you want to do, you're gonna make it happen. And however you want that to happen, it's gonna happen. But if you really feel in your heart that you care about that person that you're with, and that you have no reason to step out, then you could hang out with 20 different guys, and it wouldn't make a difference, because your eyes are set on Carl, not on finding someone else or finding something else. So I think that her asking that question almost, it came from a place of insecurity in her own situation. And it was like a little, not disrespectful, because she doesn't know what she's asking, essentially, right? But I think that it comes from a funky place, because it's like, excuse me, don't put that on my relationship. I'm sure in what I have. Yeah. And if you're not, that's on you. And I feel bad.
And I mean, she did say, like, oh, maybe it's our age gap because we're 6 years apart. And that's
not that big of a gap in adulthood.
Yeah, I know. I just said, Also, staying home, you just need to talk to other people besides your significant other. And he had a nice rooftop. I mean, it's a win-win.
Were the drinks good though? Like,
yes, I was intoxicated.
Oh, you did say that. I'm sorry. I mean, well, intoxicated doesn't mean the drinks are good. Intoxicated just means you knock back some stuff. All right.
No.
Did you enjoy the process to becoming intoxicated? That's different.
Yes, and it's also was like such a to talk to someone who was we weren't even talking about like like yo what music you like or do you remember this person. It was just like I go through this in life and I'm going through this in life. Like how do you cope? How do you cope?
Some deep convo.
Working from home.
Yeah.
Just having like a real intellectual conversation. Like when I left, I was just like, I don't think I talked to anyone like this. That I just like rekindled a friendship.
Yeah.
And I bet you a lot of that conversation probably was about you and Carl. So like if you go to talk to somebody and you're not talking about your significant other, then maybe there is a little bit of a, you know, if you have
true.
something to say about them.
That's a part of it.
Yeah. And when I left, he was like, make sure next time you come back with Carl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and you know, I was like, hello, duh. So we're all trying to be on the rooftop.
Getting intoxicated on rooftops.
Yeah.
Love it.
I just want to say I agree with Marisol because I mean, essentially, whether you meet them before your relationship or in you know, in this case, Greg, you use marriage, before your marriage or during your marriage, it really shouldn't matter. And what it boils down to is insecurity in the relationship, you know, and that insecurity doesn't start in that relationship. It starts way before that.
Yeah.
You know, because we have this issue when we're dating where if you have, in my case, as a guy, if I have too many female friends, oh, well, where are you going with them? What are you going to do? If you have to ask that question, it's like, well, I'm going to go hang out with them. What do you do with the people you're friends with? You know, do you like, why would you ask that question unless you're already in your head thinking, well, maybe there's something else. And I want to hear from you. I want to hear those words that you're just going to hang out. Why do I have to say that? You know, unless you don't trust me. And if you want to come out and say you don't trust me, then let's talk about it. Because me going to hang out with a friend, if I haven't given you any reason not to trust me, shouldn't be a problem. But we through anecdotes and media, we see when people hang out with the opposite sex, things can happen. Like, oh, well, how could you be friends with someone that's attractive? Like you only have friends that are attractive or something like that. You know, like people that you hang out with are good looking. So it's like, oh, well, there's a reason for that, right?
Well, I mean, like, I'm not gonna hang out with ugly.
I'm good looking.
Marisol, what are you talking about? Yes.
And you want to know, and it goes back to what you're saying. Sorry, Steph. Like, and Marisol, like your relationship. Because when I told Carl, he was like, next time you hang out with him, take a photo and troll people. Don't even say like this is my high school friend. Take a photo with him.
But people will think things. It's just our society. I think is what it boils down to. As a society, we look at having platonic friends of the opposite sex as something that's not capable, especially for men. Men to have women as friends is like, no, they're all dogs. Eventually, they're gonna try and move on. You know what I mean? So I just think that it's bullcrap.
So, Steph, you made a couple points I agree with, like how society views things. But what I will say is a very big difference between a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship and marriage. The parameters change once vows get introduced, and and you don't realize it until it happens to you. I'm sure you can speak to that, Deb. Like things change, and you're like, wait a minute, I never used to do this before, but it's not necessarily that you feel it changing, but it's like you start to operate differently because now you have different values. You have different. You are, what's the word I'm looking for? Not beholden. I wouldn't say beholden to your spouse, but
it's your vows.
Yes, exactly.
You start like we said we're gonna do this forever, and I'm not gonna let nobody or nothing mess that up.
You know?
I hear that, and what my response is to that is, what is marriage really other than you saying that we're making this forever? Like you know what I mean? Like,
bro,
this is coming from somebody who's not married. You can't honestly. I'm telling you,
I don't have the experience.
I'm
not married. But what I'm saying is, what you did in your relationship to what you're doing in your marriage, right? Like, what really changes? Because most people, when I talk to
a girlfriend, if you mess up, you're like, I'm so sorry. Let's make this work. But I feel like even Carl and I had.
You do it in marriage too. People go through marriage counseling for that reason because it's not working.
We had a convo a month ago, and he was like, if you wanted to do something, if I wanted to do something, or we cheated, or we Like nothing will ever mess our legacy up, what we're trying to build. I'm not trying to get to know another family. I don't want to know another family. Like this is us. So whatever problems we're going through, we fix it, because you're not going anywhere and I'm not. But I think with a boyfriend and girlfriend, you kind of feel like, well, you know, if we mess up, I could get another
That
person.
depends on the person though, because like to me, you can get divorced. Either the same way that you could break up, you can get a divorce. Like people, that is it's solely it's.
Nah, bro.
Let me just
I'm not
finish.
divorcing you. I'm not going through this.
I know
again.
you aren't. But what I'm saying is, like, to look at marriage as okay, now I got to get serious. People don't have to get married to get serious, and to look at this person as being my partner forever. Some people don't even want to get married because they don't look. It's an institution, right? I need it for tax purposes, right? Like, there's reasons to get married, and there are other people who don't look at marriage the same way now that we used to in the past. So I don't think the seriousness that you're attaching to marriage is necessary for someone to commit to the relationship and look at, in this case, when we're talking about platonic friends, whether you're in a marriage or not, as being something that's a factor. I will say that what we do when we get married is say, well, there's a difference now. We put that on ourselves to say it's a difference now than it was before, but it's just as important in the marriage or before the marriage. It's just what perspective are we taking as couples? And Greg, you can say what you want because both of you are married and I'm not, and I'm letting you know from my perspective. But that to me is some implication we put on ourselves when we're in a marriage, because we're told that this is the final stage and that we need to get serious now. It's how you approach it yourselves.
I don't know if perhaps it's because I'm not married also, but I completely agree with.
Of course they would.
Yes. Be crew.
I've been in very.
You are a C crew.
I've been in committed relationships of like 7 years. I've been in, a relationship for a year, and I feel like. And it might just be like that old school mentality that if you're dating somebody, it's because essentially you're getting to know them to marry them, right? That's the old school idea of dating someone. But we've moved into a society or into a position of where if you're dating someone, it's like, yeah, I'm getting to know you. And if I like you, great, and it works out. And if not, then I could just move on. But once you're past a certain point in that relationship, it kind of tends to become a little bit more serious. And at that point, why are you wasting your time with that person if there is no future with them? So that
time and a good ride.
So it's almost like that level of commitment slowly starts to grow to where if this person is proposing to you, it's because you have this idea that I'm in it. That's it. I'm in it. So what difference does walking down the aisle versus being in it in your relationship while boyfriend and girlfriend make? I don't think it makes any difference.
Gregor, please.
Yeah.
They gotta hit us with the you don't know because you're not in it. Wait till you get married.
No, because I was you guys at one point.
Exactly.
I was you
hear
guys,
them and I'm like, that was me. Yeah.
And I was like, nothing changes. In reality, everything changes.
It may not change suddenly, but some like something happens and you just like
it clicks in your head like this is serious.
And especially when you start spending literally every day with each other and you relearn things that you had no idea about your spouse.
Some people live together before they get married.
But what I'm saying is, even
Carl did too, but it was different.
Even if you live together, once you take those vows, there is something that shifts mentally that you don't even realize that happens. And it's tough to understand unless you go through it.
I understand. I can't
even
speak
still
to that.
now
the way
within
you
my
communicate.
marriage. Yes, I've been married for 5 years.
Really? Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. That's a different conversation. If you want to spend the rest of this episode talking about this, we can. Because you bringing up communication to me is a different part of the argument, honestly. So for the both of you, even though I'm not the host, for the both of you, I want to ask the married people in this Zoom room, would you look at a platonic friend for your partner differently before you got married than right now? Like, let's say they met someone now. Would you look at them differently? Would you look at them acquiring a male friend, in your case, Deb and Greg?
I'm gonna be honest with you. So
female friend.
I was in the office. Mm-hmm. There's men and there's women, whatever. And there was a guy like this close, like my cubicle. And I was just like, hubba. And for like 2-3 years, I was like,
hi, Candy.
Yeah. And I didn't even hide it from him. I didn't hide it from anyone. Like, if you saw us, you were like, are they together? Like, no, she's married. And he's like 29.
Off his hubbubs.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And I would tell Carl, like, oh, I'm going out with this guy. And he'd be like, all right, have fun. And I'd be like, Carl, I have a crush on him. All right, cool. Make sure you're you're fine.
That is the most Carl thing ever.
But like,
it sounds very specific.
But
to
this
relationship.
is what I want to say. Because we were married, I knew I would never, ever, ever cross that line. But I believe if Carl and I were just boyfriend and girlfriend, it would play in my mind a little bit. But because of our vows, because of our family, our foundation, what we have built, I will never, ever mess that up. And I think there's a difference from when your boyfriend
onus you put
married
on your. Yeah, I get that. It's like that's a personal approach that you took to your relationship. Whereas as a girlfriend, you'd be like, I can risk it for the biscuit. But as a wife, you're like, not worth the risk. And all I'm saying is, some people
also you have to be honest.
Yes, I agree. That's communication, though, right? But what I was saying is that onus that you're putting in the marriage, some people put that in the relationship where they wouldn't cross that line regardless of the vows or not. So that's why I was saying, that's why I asked you if it would change, because that's a personal choice that you made, and they're all personal choices that we make. That's why people still cheat when they're married.
Yes.
because they can
choose you. You can sit down with your significant other and be like, "Hey, I like this person," and he could be like, "All right, I like this person. Let's have an open relationship," and that's not cheating. But I think if you're boyfriend and girlfriend, you may not, because you don't want to lose that person.
It depends. Again, it depends how serious you are about that person. I think is ultimately what it comes down to. But Greg, you can go.
Yeah, I think ultimately it's a mentality shift that you don't realize when it happens. That's the scary thing. You don't
try
know
to get Maris. I'm about to get married like tomorrow.
I know, right?
And Greg, tell me this is not something also as being married. You know, no matter what, someone has your back.
Like,
I feel that way now.
Like I honestly can say, like, Carl is my best friend. He sees me when I'm down, when I'm up, like Cardi B. You know what I'm saying? And that, to me, that's like the beauty of marriage. You have someone who's gonna ride for you till the end of time. You can literally curse each other out, argue with each other, but the next day you're like, you wake up with that person in your bed, and it's like that person is home.
Can you confirm if Carl's crying or not? I want at least one tear out his eye.
God, this is such a funky topic. I'm sorry, Greg.
It is because it's so layered. It's not black or white.
Right. Yeah. Because there are people that date for 20 years, get married, and they're divorced a year later.
Yeah.
Like what?
Because that kind of speaks to what I'm saying, where there's a shift in your mentality. And Deb, you can speak to this too. Your mindset as a married person isn't your mindset that it was your first year of marriage. It's changed.
No.
I'm sure we
and
grow
me
as
and Carl
people.
talked about that as well. He said, do you think a year ago, if someone said to you, like, oh, you went out with another guy, you would be upset? Or would you be like, oh, did I do something wrong? Questioning yourself. And I was just like, I don't care. Like, as long as you don't care and I'm okay, that's what matters.
And I think I'm sorry. Really quick.
Okay.
I don't want to forget really quick. That has a lot to do with yourself, with you as a woman, to say, no, I still like to do the things that I want to do. Why should I stop doing them because now I'm married? Like, because
and you need that little part of you.
Individuality.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Completely.
Marisol, we here, Marisol.
We're here.
Like, I was talking to my friend, and he said, like, they sit on the couch together and watch TV. They eat together, and then they go into the bedroom together. And I was just like, when do you separate? And he was like, when she goes to work. And I was like, but when she comes home on Saturdays and Sundays, like, like,
and then when you add kids into the mix, it takes on a whole nother level.
That's a whole nother relationship. Now you have to start developing again.
Cultivating.
Because now what happens is you both grew up differently. So you may have different ideas on how to raise kids. Then you have to come together and figure out how that's gonna work.
Correct. And how you want your values that your kids want and all of that. And
which is hopefully what you're doing while you're dating. But it's
no, you're not.
We're having good times and hanging out.
So you can talk about kids while you're dating.
Yeah.
Like, so there were mad things that happened after I had kids. They were like, nobody told us this was going to happen. How the hell did we prepare for this? Nobody, they tell you about all the good things, all the happy times. They don't tell you about the first time your baby's going to take a jump off the bed and you're going to have to rush to the hospital. Nobody tells you that's going to happen. That happens with literally every child. They want to become a daredevil and just try to jump off the bed. Yeah, it happened with you too.
I used to do that.
See? And it's like, you don't mentally prepare for that. And it's just like, oh my God. And then one parent might be like, "Oh, well, he or she is fine. Let's put some ice on." The other parent may be panicking, and then that's something you guys have to figure out together.
Yeah.
I want to say one last thing before we wrap this up. Another thing that I think, Greg, tell me if I'm wrong, right or wrong, dating is different than marriage. Your finances, bro.
Yes.
You
used
to get paying your own things,
doing
your own things, and now you got to explain to somebody, I spent 100 on what? When we needed this or this, or we're trying to do this, and you're like, it's my money. Like, me and Carl tried the joint account because he begged me, and he watches too many of these ABC family shows and was like, that's how our relationship and marriage is supposed to be. Everything
should Carl, get out that Disney mindset. Carl, stop it, bro.
He's like, everything should be together. We should have a joint account, and we have money. And I was just like, huh? I think 2-3 months ago, he was like, yo, can we step, like, I don't want to do this anymore. Take your money and keep your savings, and I keep mine. And like,
a joint account is rough.
If you need money, just ask me for it, and like, please.
Yeah, see, everybody, like I said, every relationship is different. Finances work very differently in my household than in your household.
Yeah. And I don't think with dating, because when we were dating, we never had to worry about that.
You didn't care. My money is my money.
And then when you throw kids in, it's like, who's paying for this and who's paying for that?
Yeah. Oh, don't get me started.
They're married. They said it's so much fun.
Married. So for those of you that, I'll end on this. For those of you that are not married out there, all this glitz and glamour that you see on TV and all that, throw all that out the window. Marriage is work.
All of it out the window. You can't have any happiness.
I'm telling you.
No, it's a lot of happiness when you work.
You take a second, third job, and marriage is the next job.
No. I'm saying you can have your happiness, but it's not what they tell you it is on TV.
I don't think it's that every day, right? That's what you're saying. Essentially, it's not that every day. People expect it to be that every day.
Yeah,
but it's more work than you anticipate.
It legitimately is like having another job. As mentally, emotionally, it's like having another job.
I think if you want to be good at it, it's that, because you're talking about two different individuals, right? That are coming together.
You want a great marriage, a great job, and then you throw in now like employees, which are your kids that you have to manage, right?
Yeah.
And like me and Carl, he's the CFO, I'm the CEO. You got to just know. We're gonna have a whole nother topic because we should because I thought of like the gender roles, like who takes out the garbage, and
because the last thing I was gonna say,
it's a funky topic. Go ahead.
Yeah,
but so many layers, like you were saying.
There definitely is, but the last thing I wanted to say is like this, if you work a job where your coworkers suck, that job sucks. Right. No matter how well you get paid. But if you like your coworkers, if they ride it down, you're going to work, you're like, yes, like I can handle this day, then that job becomes a lot better. It's the same thing in a marriage. It's going to be work. But if your coworker, if your wife, your husband is there rocking out with you, trying to make it happen, you are going to enjoy work. And that's what it is.
That's a good analogy.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but not every day you're gonna enjoy work, right? Not every day you want to wake up and be like, oh my god.
Not at all. But you have to do it. See, when you have to do it, and you know it's something that in and out, I'm just gonna have to do because I want to make money, or in this case, I want to be in this marriage. Like it makes it a lot better when you see the people that you want to be around, because you're gonna spend umpteenth hours with them. Yeah. So if it's someone you're like, man, like I really can't stand you, or you don't make me happy, every time I'm with you, I'm getting stressed out, like that is going to lead you to be unhappy, and it's going to feel like it's grueling work, because that's like any job. It is, and like, damn, when do I get off the clock?
And next coworker comes in and they make you happy.
Or the next coworker comes in and like, this is an amazing job, and you're like, bro, I'm the one who built the shelf. I'm the one, like, of course it's amazing.
I'm liking this. I'm liking how we're working this analogy, and it's coming full circle. That's all I'm saying.
All right, let's move on. Kardashians, whether it's like the sister, the brother, or whatever, they're always in the news. So big thing everyone's talking about is Scott Disick is dating a 20-year-old girl. He's almost 40. She's like 41. He's like 39. What age is too young to date? Like, is that
I'll start this off.
All right, Marisol, go ahead, girl.
I'm starting it off because I myself am in a relationship where I'm 11 years older than my significant other. He is
older or younger?
Oh, she's
older. He's younger.
She's 11 years older.
Yeah.
I'm 34 and he's 23.
Okay.
And
you're at your peak, Marisol. You're at your peak right now, so things are good. Girl,
I gotta take advantage.
And this is when being married is exciting to have single friends, right? Great, you're like, fellas.
Facts. Well, give us some stories.
Yeah. Go ahead, girl.
I had that same fear in the beginning because I was like, 11 years, like yikes. And then you do the math backwards and you're like, oh, when I was 11 born, but
that's always funny to me.
But when you're, I don't know, like I think that, gosh, it's hard.
Don't hit that R. Kelly line, please.
No.
Don't do that to her. Don't do that to Marisol. I'll say that.
He's the kind of person that likes to be older. Yeah, and I'm a little bit rebellious in my ways of feeling like I haven't grown older. So, like my age grows, but I don't feel necessarily that I'm like 34 and my back aches and I want to go read a book. Like, read
a book.
So I feel like, so I feel like it's a little bit funky. On paper, it looks a little tough, but I think that 23 is still young. He is still young. Like there is some growth that has to be had. So I can't imagine being 20 with a guy who's 40 and that level of maturity, because no matter how young he feels, there is a level of experience and things that he's been through and things that he will accept and not accept. And I think that is the difference of where it's like, oh,
but I also think it's like if it's a guy who's with an older woman, you're like, oh shoot, bro, yo, you know, and it's like a woman, you're like, oh, what a cougar. But then if you flip it, and the guys, you're like, that's like gross. Like, what are you? Like that's how women look. But another man will be like, oh, you got that little tenderoni, you know,
tenderoni.
You do, but I think if it's like a man who's younger and a woman in society, it's okay.
Yeah,
the other way, women, especially women, I think do not like it. Gregor, when your daughter turns 20 and says, Dad,
snap.
This is my boyfriend Scott. He's 39.
So 2 things.
And I'm 20.
I look at this very differently as a father and then as a regular person.
Exactly.
As a non-father.
As a father, I gotta ask her, what do you see in this man? What do you think,
a father of 3 kids.
Sugar daddy?
Like what are you looking for in life? Can he give you what you're looking for?
No, but what if you both have you both have your own money? Like that's not.
But I as a father have to understand why she wants to date this man. What does she see in him? Because it would be wrong for me to just write it off right away. Because suppose she really does feel, I got to understand what she's feeling.
Yeah.
I can't just be like, no, you're not dating him at all. Because then I lose her a bit.
And also what say do you have at 20 though, right? Like I mean it's she's a grown woman. Not a grown woman, she's a young woman at that point.
It would be a conversation just to try to understand her mindset. As a regular old man, I don't care enough about this relationship to if Scott wants to take care of a 20-year-old, do you?
Yeah.
But to me, that's what that type of dynamic in a 20-year gap is. He's not looking for a woman to come in and be his equal. He's looking for a young woman who looks nice on his arm that he can take care of. He had the other woman where they bumped heads, they did that, and maybe he doesn't want that, and that's why he's going for the younger woman. And maybe
he was focusing on being a mogul.
Yeah.
Well, he also did date Lionel Richie's daughter, Sophia Richie, and I think she's like 25.
But that's still 20, 25. He's still 40. He's still 15, 20 year gap.
Yeah.
Maybe he's on some like, I just want somebody I could take care of. And that's going to be agreeable.
That's not going to agreeable. I think someone that doesn't complain, right? That's what I see most older men going for younger women, because they're looking for different things at that stage in their lives than women that are their age. So you're not going to get the same complaints or get pushed in the same directions.
Yes.
And so I see that. I will say, this is one of those things where it's like, ethically, it's like not wrong, but morally, you're kind of like, like it's fringe to me. It's very fringe because he's just 20, like 2 years removed from being legal. Like, you know what I mean? Like that, like it's one of like Marisol said, funky. I wouldn't look at that and be like, oh yeah, it's wrong. Because I honestly think it's like, well, she is of age, and that's a huge gap, but maybe there's something there. I don't know all the details, so I can't sit there and be like, that's ridiculous. But I have a hard time believing someone that's that far of a gap that you have things in common. But it's what you're looking for. And if Scott's just looking for a fun time and he wants someone that's young, it's not going to complain about being flown out here, there, and there, and then he does his own thing for however long he has to, then it works, you know? And at the same token, that could be what she wants too. You know what I mean? And so like that we focus a lot on the man, I guess, in this perspective, but for the woman now, this 20-year-old, maybe this is exactly her speed. I'm 20 years old. I don't have that much money yet, but I'm with a guy that can do all this. I enjoy him. We have fun. We have our fun. You know what I'm saying? And he's not all hands. Like he when he wants to see me,
like,
he doesn't. He doesn't. But like, imagine 20 though. Imagine at 20. Like honestly though, like as me, like as a man, it's a little bit different, right? If I'm dating, like you said, Deb, an older woman, a 40-year-old woman.
Greg, what if your son comes?
But if I did, I'd be like, hell yeah, like this is an amazing like relationship where I don't really have to put in as much. I don't have to be, you know, the main focus of this relationship, but I still get to have all this fun. This is a great person. We're having a good time. I'm learning because I'm young and they're like older. It teaches me all these things about my body. Like, oh hell yeah. Putting it on me, like, oh, I didn't even know that.
Cultural experiences, places you've never been before.
So Deb, you asked about my son. That conversation changes a bit. It's not in the direction you think. No, it's not high fives because it's still a conversation. It's what do you see in this woman? Then I have to ask him how serious he is. Does he plan on having kids? Because now 40 years old, you're talking geriatric pregnancy.
Yeah.
So I have to ask him, are you like, if this is who you want to be with, you have to understand some of the things that come along with it. And are you okay with that?
It's funny.
It's still a conversation.
Because a lot of his family was like, are you sure you want to be with a woman?
I was gonna say that's all thing that he's going through. Yeah.
And he had no idea where these questions were coming from. Like, it's like, what? Like, why would you ask me that? Yeah, of course I want to be with her, because to him, my age wasn't an issue. But what he doesn't realize is that, yes, that comes with the fact that if we're going to have kids, it's got to be soon. You know, there's a certain level of things that I should have already ready to go at my age that I don't, like I should have $1 million in my bank and a brand new at 34. Like, hold on.
But I also want to say that as a girl, a lot of girls, when we're a little bit younger, we kind of want a guy who's a little bit old. Like in high school, you want that college guy to pick you up in the car, and all your friends are like, "Oh shit," like, "Oh yeah, that's just Mike. He's just picking me up. And then,
oh man.
That's what I think. That's what happens. Like,
it sounds like all of St. Mary's Junior,
right? Like that's what they did. Like, this is just Mike, and we're gonna like Whitestone. And then some of them end up marrying these older men, and they have the kids right away, and they're happy with that life of dating an older man. And some people like to date someone, like you said, on their same level, who have the same things in common. I believe love is love, but I do think 20 and 40 is a big.
I don't know if that's love.
That's love.
It really does go to what Greg is saying. It all depends on the interest that you have and what you want to take out of it. I think that's really what it comes down to. Yeah.
And like I said, his son is 13 and she's 20. Like, hey sis, what's up?
Yikes.
I mean, that is all in how Scott would foster that relationship, because as a parent, you have to set boundaries.
Yeah.
You can't, if and you have to understand where she stands as well. So everything is a conversation.
Well, tonight is their part 1 reunion, and that's a big thing that they talk about. So I can't wait to see what he does say. That you are dating someone really, really young, and you have 3 kids. All right, next subject. I don't know if you guys know who Tori Spelling is. If you don't, you all need to watch 90210. Jeff?
What? Is that what?
Do you know who Tori Spelling is?
That name sounds familiar. Is she blonde?
Yes.
I think I do know that.
Her mom is like Candy, and her dad is Aaron. They did the show Seventh Heaven.
Ooh, I wasn't a Seventh Heaven fan.
What?
Only because I know about what's her name.
That theme song is lit.
Okay,
the theme song was the best part of the show.
That's it.
What?
The show was trash.
Didn't the father get in trouble for something like in real life? He's, like a pedophile.
Being a pedophile.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, all those lessons you learn in seventh heaven from a pedophile. Okay.
Well, same thing for Cosby Show. Okay.
Ooh. All right. Cool.
Oh, okay, but no one talks about the putting in the cookies. So Tori Spelling has said that like we said, every marriage is different. Her and her husband sleep in separate beds.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how they live their lives. Separate rooms, separate beds. 5 kids.
This is exactly who I thought it was. All right, cool.
Would you be okay with sleeping in a separate bed with your significant other?
Absolutely not.
No. Not even a question.
No.
I mean, when I thought about it, I was like...
Carl has probably gone through so many emotions during this episode.
I'm like, that's because Carl sleeps like a 5-year-old child.
Oh, nah.
So,
why are you doing that to that man? Why you have to do that?
It's our last episode for a minute. She's letting off right now.
You know what I'm saying? So some days I'm like, my God, this is not gonna work. Like we used to sleep with 2 separate comforters because he would just take them.
Yes.
And just wrap himself, and I'm like, I'm here.
That struggle is real.
Yeah, that sounds like Carl after the Celtics loss.
I sleep on one side of the bed. He's just like,
Yeah.
So when I thought of this, I was just like, not bad. And we wake up at 2 different times. So when I wake up, he's not even there because he's already like at the gym or went for a walk. You know what I'm saying? And I go to bed late. So I was like, not too bad. But I don't know if like every day, because now you start that gap in your relationship, because sometimes you want that pillow talk, like about this person or this person,
That's dangerous waters, because that point about building a gap is so real, because then you start to like form 2 separate lives and you guys are growing but not together.
Yeah,
that's dangerous.
Become single living within a marriage, and that is very dangerous territory.
And then how are you going to check the person's text messages if they're in another room? You know what I'm saying? The bed, you just roll over. I'm just kidding. That I don't do.
I don't know about that, Carl.
I do not. We have a strict rule about that. It's my phone.
What I will say though is, this is pure speculation, but it sounds like they got married. They're like, we're not getting a divorce, but they may not. They're tolerating each other. They may not like each other, but they're tolerating each other, and they're figuring out what works for them.
And that's the difference of being married, Greg, instead of just dead.
Let's be unhappy. I understand making it work. I understand making it work though, and then that this is their way of trying to see to keep this marriage and not be miserable in the same bed. Maybe being in separate beds is going to help them. Also, it wouldn't be for me is all.
I just find it amazing that like this stuff is news. Like we pry into these people's lives when we don't even really know them. And
I think the reason why it's news because somebody's found out they're not happy. So they said to her like, "Oh, are you getting divorced? Like there's rumors and this," and she was like, "No, just because we sleep in separate beds doesn't mean we're gonna get a divorce." And people were like, "What?"
You gave too much away.
Yeah, like now we definitely think you guys are about to get a divorce. Yeah. And they got together. I don't know if you guys know because he cheated on his wife, who was the singer. What's that girl? How do I live with
you? Asking the wrong person.
Oh,
Marisol, how do I live without you? You were good.
Yeah. Jesus.
I want to help, but I really can't help.
Her name is Leanne Rimes.
There we go.
So he was married, I think, to Leanne Rimes, and she was married to something like that. But basically, they met on a Lifetime movie, and like he cheated on his wife. You know how you keep them, how you found them, sometimes how you lose them. So and they've been having a lot of like issues. So I think it's just the boiling point. But yeah, I can't sleep in a separate bed.
No, I think it's
not for me.
I don't think it's healthy in any way.
Carl and I went away, and we could not get a king size bed. They gave us 2 queen. And Carl was like, "Yo, we're still in the same room. You want to sleep in your own bed?"
Little spoon, big spoon, though. Little spoon, big spoon. That's important. Because as a big spoon, you might want to sleep in your own bed. But as a little spoon, you need to be in the same bed.
That's right. Yep.
Big spoon is like, I need my arm maybe needs a little rest. Like I need a little me time. But a little spoon is just like,
I'll wake up and I'm like, wait, why are you there? He'd be like, oh,
I'll tell you right now. Tell you right now, if I need a good night's sleep, I'm Little Spoon. Straight up.
All the way.
All right, put your arm over me. All right, make sure you just like get real nice and tight. No, I don't need space between us. All right,
maybe give me a dead leg. You know,
make me feel. I want to feel loved and comfortable. I want to feel like, you know, like I need that. That's a good night's sleep.
I get it.
Feet apart, please. So in 2 more days, you know, the Supreme Court is working on making this I think we passed it for federal. Now we're trying to do national, or is it the other way around?
No, federal and national is the same thing.
Yeah,
it's a federal holiday.
Oh, okay. It passed.
Federal, yes. It's a federal holiday.
So that means we'll officially be off, right?
Right. Well,
yep.
I mean, this week
is that the
not
case?
this year? Next year. Next year.
Yeah.
It falls
and then it'll be on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm saying the next time it falls within a work week, we will have a holiday.
So in 3 more years. Because this
2 years, right? Because this year's a Saturday, and then next year will be Sunday. Then so 2 years.
See how they trying to get us already?
Always with the clause. Damn.
But this Saturday is Juneteenth, and I would like Steph for you to talk to us about your block party.
Yeah. All right. So I live. Yeah. No, I kind of do.
No. So let me give you a little. Okay. That's you now.
Yes. So I live in Bed-Stuy on Vernon Avenue between Lewis and Stuyvesant. And the last year during the pandemic, we everyone was, you were inside, and around the summertime, people started going out more, but you didn't know what you could do and where the comfort level was. We decided to celebrate Juneteenth on the block. Keeping social distance in mind, trying to be as responsible as we can, still being outside. And it was great. A lot of people needed it, right? Like that kind of interaction, just being amongst ourselves was awesome. We had some speeches. We spoke about the history of Juneteenth. We had activities to like really honor our ancestors. And I think that was beautiful. The part that I love was just the community coming together. So this year we decided to do it again. And with this time around, we're always trying to engage with the community. So we're bringing someone down to talk about the election on June 22nd, to educate people on the new format, the candidates, and where to vote in the area. We have some local businesses, some local Black-owned businesses that are coming down to as our vendors to, allow people on the block to shop and spend their money at Black-owned businesses.
My boy is big time.
Big time. It's like we're trying to be considerate and understand that this event is more than just celebrating, right? Like It's easy to celebrate. We love celebrating, right? A block party is fun. But what are you doing with that time with the people that you're around? So we're going to have our guest speaker. We're going to have the person come down to talk about the elections. We wanted to have someone come down and speak about housing, but it was very difficult. Juneteenth now, like you're talking about, this is the second year where I feel like there's more awareness around it. Yes. There's everything's going on Saturday. I don't know if you look around. There's so many things going on. So it was a little tough for us to find people, but we're gonna have some performances. Some people on the block. You still can. The slots are open. But yeah, we do have some performances. People on the block that have talent that are come out and show off, which we're so excited about. And just music and food, like just having a good time. So the front end of it is just like learning and sharing and building community, and that back end is just like celebrating and enjoying our time together. So I'm excited. It's the second annual Juneteenth on Vernon. We have some other like decorative ideas that should be really fun, that I'm hoping everyone enjoys, but I'm really looking forward to it. There's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes, as anyone can imagine, but it's super exciting.
I'll be there.
It's awesome.
Greg.
Yes, thank you. You're gonna have a great time.
Thanks, brother.
I support him all the time.
All right, well, say it.
Nobody else knows. That's what Deb's saying.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I always
support
him.
Show together, and like doesn't mean you.
He's always supported me. When I was having rages in my apartment, 200-some people coming through, and I needed a bouncer. He was my guy.
Exactly.
I would have loved to be there for that.
I didn't even go. I didn't even go to the party. I was standing outside the party all night.
Yeah.
I would have done it just to mess with people. Wow. That probably was a good time.
Yo, I didn't have fun. I didn't have fun. Everyone else had fun. I was too busy running around.
No, I'm talking about Greg being a bouncer. Like that probably was fun.
Oh yeah, it wasn't the first time.
Yeah, I did it like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
Nice. If you ever do it, let me know. I would love to be a bouncer.
I think that's great what you're doing. I think there needs to be so much more awareness about Juneteenth, because it wasn't until last year that I had to write a piece for the radio station that I was like, oh, I had no idea about it. And even still, like getting the paper together and writing about it, there was still such a level of, I guess I'll call it ignorance, but lack of knowledge on the entire topic. And even when I wrote about it, he was like, no, you got to rewrite this. And it took me like 4 different drafts to be able to nail it. And it's just, my sister was like, is that real? Like, is it a real holiday? And, there's still, last year definitely took off, which, is a great thing. Yes. But there's still so much to learn about the Black culture that's beautiful and rich and amazing. And I feel like it's taking forever to get there. So I can't even
slow climb.
I mean, yeah, I know it's messed up to say this in a way, but like every time I think of him, George Floyd, I'm like, it's not okay that what happened to him, but what happened to him needed to be done to be where we are right now.
Absolutely.
People, unfortunately, in our country, right? Yes, like that, it took someone, this particular Black man losing his life, because there've been so many Black people who have lost their lives,
and even during the same time,
it was in the manner and how it happened.
Yeah.
The recording of it, everyone hearing him pleading for his life, like you've had that, but like it was seeing that and the manner in which it happened is what made that moment so pivotal.
What I will say to your point about Black culture, Marisol, is
speak on it.
Our country hides from it, hides from those in power, hide from the true history of how this country operated, how they made their money, how they became a world superpower, and how they operate on the national stage. Yes. And we, as citizens, and it happens in high school because they take a lot of the stuff out of the high school books, and we don't learn. We learn the whitewashing of history. Because, Deb, think about when we were in high school. There was no Tulsa race massacre. We didn't learn about Juneteenth. If anything, it was maybe a footnote. There was no
Shays Rebellion, I think, is one of the few things that they talk about, when they talk about a Black figure.
But we spent like 2 semesters on the revolution.
So funny you say that, because yesterday when I was hanging out with my friend he was just like, honestly, I also think why we were so close is because you gravitated. He was like, you talk to everyone, but you kind of also had your main core of friends. And that's because you gravitated to like, we're the outsides. We have to stick together. You know what I'm saying?
Do I know this person?
Yeah, I probably do. DJ.
Oh, yo, D got money.
Yeah, and we thought you were going to be on the thing yesterday, so we were waiting so he could say hi to you.
That's awesome. D got money. We had a whole segment because of you, man. Thank you.
Yeah. And
DJ, my guy.
When he comes, he's stopping by today. I'll try to FaceTime when he comes.
He can't FaceTime. You have to video chat on WhatsApp.
That's what I meant. I didn't want to put him on a...
I got to put him on blast.
You had to do that.
Put him on blast.
Hold on. How is it putting you on blast? You probably have an Android, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So how's that blast?
But what I'm saying is, just because I don't have, that doesn't mean I can't FaceTime, because I got Duo.
Cannot FaceTime.
You can't.
It's not FaceTiming.
It's the same thing.
So you have an iPhone?
I do.
Yeah,
if anything, Duo is probably better than y'all punk ass FaceTime anyway.
You know what annoys me with Androids? All right, now we're about to go on a rant. How they mess up the group chat.
Every time.
So bougie with y'all inferior devices that y'all come on here and wax poetic about green bubbles. Man,
the green bubble is an ugly bubble.
I'll take the green bubble, but I don't like when I'm in a message and I can't reply to something that was before because of you.
Or like images that you can't see again, I think sometimes. Like if you put an image in there after a certain time, it just goes away.
Yeah.
Their smiley faces look like they're on acid. Like, do you ever notice it's like melting?
Yeah. Androids are different. All right. That's all we're going to say. I wasn't even trying to throw shade. You took it that way because, it's like PTSD. I'm sure you get attacked a lot. But all I said was it's not FaceTime because it ain't FaceTime.
I didn't want to put him on blast, so I just said that.
See, indirectly, she was sending shots without
but
sending
as soon
shots.
as I said it, I was like, I'm really not.
I mean, if that defensive wall is up, it's because you know. Because you know it's
only because you people with your inferior devices always come at the superior devices.
It's not. It's just
never
like
fails.
get with
Never
what's
fails.
happening.
There are pros and cons to both devices. I just think there are more pros to the iPhone. That's all.
I mean,
like when you meet someone who has an iPhone, you get like, you see, I was like, Marisol, you have an iPhone?
Yeah, it's like, what?
The capabilities of an Android are better, but the UI is just so
excited about
much
a
better.
flipping phone.
No,
Because,
as a society,
all right,
like,
old man.
better than other people. That's what it comes down to.
Get excited about a phone? You mean the computer you have in your pocket?
Yeah.
That is
no, I want
everything.
to feel better than you, so this is how it helps.
That's wild. Wait, what were we talking about before? I lost track.
All right, hold on, I'm back on Android. So like we have a family group chat, and it's like all aunts, all uncles, and we have one cousin with an Android. You know how upset we get when we like send something, and he'll
discrimination,
like,
really.
Yeah, he'll send a message.
I know now. Discrimination brought me back.
He'd be like 1 out of 4, 1 out of 3, you know, and we'd be like, "Oh my god, get out the group, bro."
Y'all are the worst. Y'all are the worst.
There's a level of like snobbishness with iPhone users, I will say, that we do.
One time he broke his phone, and we were like, "Oh my god, this is your time. this is your time to get the iPhone." And he came back and was like, "I got the Android."
So, Steph and Garrison,
I make him sound like that.
Have to bring their chargers to my house because we have no iPhone chargers in our house.
That is the iPhone desert is tough.
It's a house I don't want to be at, Greg.
And Garrison had to put an iPhone charger in the car just so he has one when he gets in the car.
It's scary. You on 3% and you like no charges around? Oh my god.
Yo, your heart just stops, right?
Yeah.
But with an iPhone, if you're on 3, a 3 could last you a bit. You'll be surprised.
You have to stretch it, depending on how old your phone is. But you can stretch it.
Yo,
yeah.
Manny, the gnome is in the comments talking about I still carry a beeper.
I mean, you did sound like that. You attach to your phones. I just use my beeper. You just give me the number and I use a payphone and I call you back.
But Greg, I did also want to say iPhone users do look down on iPhone users who are not current. Like if you like,
that is true. That happens to you a lot, Steph.
Snobs, yeah. Oh yeah.
What do you have?
Look at that. You saw a face. All right.
What do you have?
I have an 11, but before my 11, I had a 6S.
I'm down with the 11.
No. But before my 11, which was 2 years ago, I had a 6S. Before the 6S, I had a 4S, which was the tempered glass, and I love the aesthetic of a 4S. Look at Marisol. You're both judging me. I didn't need the new phone because my phone worked.
You see how shady your brother is? He's like, yes.
Yeah.
He's like, I got an Android. You got an old ass iPhone.
I'm fine. No, and it was all good. Like even when it came to updates, after iPhone, Apple hit you with that update where YouTube was uploaded onto your phone and you couldn't delete it.
That was it.
That's when I was like, you know what? I don't need every update. I don't need every update. If you gonna put stuff on my phone I can't get off, and anytime I start my music, it starts with YouTube. I don't want to hear them.
See, we don't have to deal with stuff like that.
That was a fault. That was a fault on Apple, and they acknowledged it and they put in a patch to remove it, which shouldn't have happened in the first place. But after that, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna ease up on the updates. What you gonna give me in this update? Some new emojis? I'm good for now.
No, the new update's amazing.
No, I'm up to date. I'm current.
Okay. You know what happened? It's when they started to like when you could no longer just upgrade like every 2 years, or they were just throwing them out every year, and then now you gotta pay for it, like and all this noise. Like when I was dropping 200, I got my new phone. Goodbye, thank you. Right? But now it's like 1,000, and you have to get it. Like
and y'all want people to go to iPhone with all of this?
Hold on. But it's the same thing for Android though. Like
it's not.
You tell me you get your phone for free.
I'm talking about the system updates. No. She's not talking about system updates. She's talking about with your carrier that you no longer get after 2 years, like okay.
You get a phone for free. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I lease my phones now. So
same here. Well, I don't pay for them, Carlos. All right. So let's end. I don't have an older man, but I still got me a sugar daddy.
Hey, there it is, Carl. Take that tongue lashing and give up that money.
An old man. I don't care what nobody says.
He is. And I was thinking about that when you said that, Marisol. I think that's everyone though. You marry you date your opposite.
Yeah.
Right. That
opposites attract.
Good compatible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm like you. Like the younger, and Carl's like, oh my God, it's 8:00. Can we go home?
Wow, that was a pretty good Carl impersonation. I think
Carl.
The guy's glasses.
Is that Carl?
Day, which is on Sunday. And since we only have one daddy, not a sugar daddy, just a daddy.
A real daddy.
Right here.
What's you reaching for? I thought you were reaching for a child. Are you reaching for a child?
That's what I thought
you grabbed it like it was a broom, and I'm like,
you know what's funny? Because usually they're like, hi, and today they're like, chill out, bro. Like,
yeah.
Because he's watching his show on. Oh, you snacking on? What are you munching on? I don't want anything. Say hi.
I can't tell you because you're gonna want some.
That's funny. And that's what being a father is about. Your kids won't share the snacks with you. So he straight up said, I'm not going to tell you because you're going to want it.
He's at that age now where he talks smack. And like he's figured out smack talk. And he has myself and his two uncles and his other, my wife's brother, who are very good at it. And he's kind of embodied all of us. So there are times where he says stuff and I'm just like, heard you. All right.
You got it. Later. You got it.
Yeah. So, Greg, tell us what's like the best quality of being a dad.
Man.
The best part of being a dad is seeing their faces in the morning, like, or when you come home from a long day, and they both run to you with these big smiles, and it's like, Daddy, you're home. You're home. Where were you? Why'd you take so long? And like my daughter, the other day, she's 2. She just turned 2. I opened the door and she's a big daddy's girl. She did this dance like this and spun around 3 times when I walked in the door. And like it could have been the hardest day ever, and all of that was just out the window.
What's the hardest thing about being a dad that no one told you?
The hardest thing about being a dad
besides the diapers
is that's easy once you
get I'm talking about what comes out.
Like I
the
said,
smell is tough.
So the hardest with the diapers, when you change the opposite sex diaper the first couple times, that's very difficult.
The difference of chasing a boy and a girl, right?
Yeah, that like the first couple diapers, I was like, dude.
So it took me a while.
How do I? But the hardest part is doling out discipline in different situations, because not every situation calls for the same discipline, and there's certain ways we were disciplined as kids that we didn't like. And you don't want to project that onto your kids because you remember what it made you feel like. So it's a very fine line to walk where you have to figure out, like, do I have to be the harsh parent? And there's sometimes where you want to be the harsh parent and you have to take a step back and be like, no, you need to be the nurturing parent because they really may not understand what they did wrong. That's the most difficult part.
Well, I want to say I grew up with just my mother and like my uncles who like helped. I have one uncle in particular I call my uncle dad. And, I have a father-in-law and now I have a stepdad. But I think there's a difference of fathers. There's a father that raises you and who's there for you. And then there's a father who's helped give you life and you never heard from him or seen him again. So I want to applaud you for being a constant figure in your children's life. Trust me, when they get older, and especially your daughter, that's going to be a huge factor.
Definitely. I think one of the biggest fears I have is not being able to wake up to see my kids. Like the best feeling is seeing them in the morning, waking up knowing they're there, seeing them in the morning. So that's a great feeling.
And to us who don't
not
have
a dry
kids,
eye back home, huh?
Yeah. No, I was gonna say to us who don't have kids, let's live it up, drink those shots, party.
Hold on. Wait, I will say this though. You can still have your fun. You gotta put the kids to bed.
Carl will be the dad I know for sure that'll be like, I'm gonna put him to bed, and then I walk in, I'm like, so why are you sleeping?
That'll definitely be Carl.
Yeah,
because you can have your candlelight bathroom, bubble bath.
And the kid walks in like, I gotta use the potty, and you're like, really?
Nah, you gotta make sure they're sleeping.
Ruining sexy time.
Can't be ruining sexy time.
Sexy time. So today we learned that Steph knows nothing about OJ. Girl and guy can be friends. And marriage is amazing if you have a good employee and a good employer and benefits, right?
Good coworker.
What a way to put it.
Yeah, right? It worked for us. Supervisor, manager.
Yeah, I like that.
We learned do not sleep in opposite rooms with your significant other unless they hog the covers. We learned that age is nothing but a number, R. Kelly. We learned that on Saturday we will be supporting our brother, Steph.
Yes.
And we learned that Greg is a great dad.
Thank you, guys.
A great session.
Was this
Greg,
was this is a great send off.
good filling in for Mike, we must
Thank
say.
you. Bye, Mike.
Steph and Marisol, like always, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
We will be back together in June, though, because in July.
Yes.
Deb, you have a debate you're supposed to host with me. I need you to make that happen.
You know that person is my friend now, right? So it's gonna be so.
That's cool.
hard.
I don't care. He ain't my friend.
I know what we're talking about. I caught up.
I want to have an honest discussion with him.
You seem torn, Deb. Really?
A real honest discussion.
No, the reason why I'm torn because what Greg wants to talk about, I'm on Greg's side. But I am to have a different relationship with this person because I even had to explain it to Ziggy, and he was like, "What you mean you talk to him all the time?"
That's such a Zig-like response.
And it was like I see a different side of him that no one sees.
I see.
He doesn't put it out there for people to
hold on. But that's great then, because you could communicate with him. Then you could be the bridge, right? To get him to understand, Deb. That's why you need to be there. I'm
gonna be honest with you. You're the only one that can pull it off. You're the only one that can pull it off. You're the only one that can make it happen.
He told me the same. He would only do it on my show as well.
I wouldn't want to see him on the other show. I wouldn't. Because it wouldn't go well.
Are we going to continue beating around the bush? I just want to know.
Okay, I'm going to hit him up after this and say maybe the first show back will be this.
Okay. Or another B Crew session, whatever. I'm here.
She looks so nervous.
Because if he says something that's just out of left pocket, I'm going to be like, bro,
no, I got you.
No, like for me, like me and him have had so many side conversations. So it would be like, why are you showing them this? Like, I'm working on you. Like, I'm
got
trying to make you better. Why are you showing them this side?
Deb, this is literally my field. I does this.
I know, and that's what I'm also afraid for too.
I'll be watching.
And this person feeds off of not being liked. Do you get what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And I have to say, but that's not you. Stop! Don't do that, because. I'm not gonna put his business. But
because this is what we call teachable moments.
Oh,
he may not want to learn, but on a live discussion, he can't hide behind certain things because you have to have information.
Spirit fingers.
Spirit fingers. Well, gentlemen and women, Marisol, the young little tenderoni. Thank you guys enjoy your weekend, Marisol. I will be talking to you privately. Yes. And the peak, according to life, when you hit like 34, 35. Yes. Thank you all so much for being on the show. I will see you guys next month. I will see you two Saturday, and we need to do something all together.
That's a fact.
Yes, I'm with it.
We'll talk about it on Saturday.
All right.
Everyone have a great night. Remember, be you, do you, for you.
Boom.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, get out. So I got my 2 seconds by myself. All right, guys, this is the last episode of the B Show before I take my midsummer break. I want to thank you guys so much for all the people that actually watched the show that's going a little bit overtime. I want to thank Karkulanj for helping me, on this platform. I would like to thank Britney Spears because without Britney, like, who am I? And please feel free to hit me up if you would like to be on the show for the next couple of episodes. And I can't wait to see what we discuss moving forward. And remember, this is a show on the sports hit list, but we do more, as you can tell, talk about men in uniforms, unless we want to see them. So take care of yourselves. Be you, do you. This is Deborah Voltaire Coulange. And the next time you guys see me, I will be 30 freaking 6. My birthday's July 2nd. Feel free to cash at me. Bye, y'all.